The Abbasid Caliphate. The Abbasid overthrew the Umayyad dynasty in 750 CE by the support of non-Arab Muslims, and they moved the capital to Baghdad in 762 CE. Basically, we divide the Abbasid Caliphate into three different periods. The first one is the establishment period, or the power gaining period. That is the 750 to 775 CE. In that period, they established their empire. The second period is after the 775 till the 860 CE, and that period is known as the golden age of Abbasid Empire. And the last after that, after 860, that is the declining period of the Abbasid movement, Abbasid Caliph dynasty. And that starts from the fracture to the autonomous dynasties in the Abbasid Empire, and after that the Crusades, and in the last the Mongol invasion in 1258. So in the establishment period, or in the first period, which started from 750 to 775, they did many things. For example, basically they have the power in they were dependent on the Persian Muslims, as they started the revolt against the Umayyad by the support of non-Arab Muslims. So they changed their capital from Syria, which is in the modern day, from the Damascus, which is in the modern day Syria, to the Baghdad, which is in the modern day Iraq. Basically, Syria is in the Arab lands, and the Baghdad was the Persian area. So they moved the capital from Syria to Iraq, to the Baghdad. As well as in 762 CE, as well as the second caliph, that is the Mansur, he welcomed the non-Arab Muslim to his court, and this the non-Arab Muslims and the Persian, the majority was the Persian. So the Persian bureaucracy slowly replaced the old Arab aristocracy, as the Abbasid established a new position of Wazir and Amir to delegate their central authority. And basically in start they give this position to the Persians. There are 39 caliphs. So the Abbasid maintained an unbroken line of caliphs for over 3 centuries, consolidating Islamic rule and cultivating great intellectual and cultural developments in the Middle East in the golden age of Islam. There are 10 strong caliphs, and after them there are 29 caliphs, but they have just name of the caliph. They don't have much political power. By 940 CE, the Abbasid control eventually disintegrated, and the edge of the empire declared local autonomy. Basically, it starts from the emirate of Spain, from the Iberian Peninsula, where in the 756 CE, the Umayyad Prince Abdurrahman I established an independent state, and after that, in 909, the Ismaili sect developed their own state in the Egypt, which is known in the history as the Fatimid Caliphate. And there are there were other states as well. So in the 940, they integrated into different states. However, the power of the caliphate began waning as the various subordinate sultans and emirs became increasingly independent. Even they have the lacking in the political power after the Mongol invasion in 1258. As you know, the Crusades occurred before it, but at that time the caliphs were just shadow of their former past. They just have the name of caliph. They don't have the political power. And when in 1258 Mongol forces besieged Baghdad, and in the typical ruthless way the Mongols warfare of, they destroyed the entire city, the Beit al-Hikmat and the Other libraries they destroyed, and they massacred the population. The caliph was rolled in a carpet and trapped under the hooves of horses. Most of the royal family was killed. So there was someone escaped from there, and one prince who became a slave of Halaku's, uh, Halaku Khan, and he after that he escaped to the Egypt. So the Mongol advanced to the heartland of Islam after the crushing the heartland of Islam to the Mamluk Sultanate in the Battle of Ain al-Jalut in 1260. The Mamluk then raised a lineage of Abbasid as shadow caliph in the Cairo. But these people were merely figureheads, and they remained for 300 years. In 1570 CE, Sultan Selim I of the Ottoman Sultanate conquered the Mamluk lands and passed the caliphal title to his lineage. After that, there was no any other Abbasid caliphate. So we can say a series of shadow caliphs continued under the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt from 1260 to 1517 CE. So now we will discuss about some caliphs. First caliph is the Abu Abbas as-Safa, which is known as as-Safa. His time is the 750 to 754 CE. He is the first caliph, and he in his whole time he tried to consolidate the empire, to establish the empire. And the second caliph is the al-Mansur, Abu Ja'far al-Mansur. He remained caliph for 21 years from 754 CE to 775 CE. He is called as the real founder of Abbasid dynasty because in his time he did many changes. For example, he moved the capital from Damascus to Baghdad, and he strengthened his army and did many changes in caliphate. So this is the first two caliphs is known as their period is known as the establishment period. After that, the third one is the Al-Mahdi, which remained for 10 years from 775 to 785 CE. This period starts from his period is starting point of the golden age of Abbasid Caliphate, and after him his brother Al-Hadi became the caliph. His son Al-Hadi became the caliph, and after Al-Hadi, his son Harun al-Rashid became the caliph for 23 years. Harun al-Rashid was a very pious man and a very good caliph. He established the Baitul Hikmat, the house of wisdom, which paved the way for the golden age of Islamic civilization. After Harun al-Rashid, when he died in 809, his son Al-Amin became the next caliph for 4 years from 809 to 813 CE, and after him his brother Mamun, the son of Harun al-Rashid, became the next caliph for 20 years from 813 to 833. He did many good things in his time. Al-Mamun, he was a scholar himself, he was a great scholar, so he did many things for in his time for the intellectual development of Islamic empire. So he did the many things for the house of wisdom, which was built by his father. So we will discuss it later on. He expanded the functions of house of wisdom. Inshallah, we will discuss it after. But there was another thing. After he accepted the Mu'tazila theological movement. That is a theological movement, Mu'tazila, which is known as the Mu'tazila. Al-Mamun accepted that. Basically, Al-Mu'tazila has some kind of different point of view regarding the many Islamic issues. Before it, there was any didn't accepted by any caliph. But when Mamun came into power, he accepted that theology movement. Basically, the Mu'tazila profess the primacy of human reason and free will. That is the opposed to the predestination or taqdeer. They opposed it, and they tried to develop an epistemology and psychology constituting the foundation of their speculation on the nature of the universe and God and man and religious phenomena. So they think that the reason have the reason is superior than the revelation, and so they have very different theology from the other Muslims. So Mamun accepted that, and after him, his son Al-Mu'tasim make it the official, is make it this movement as the official theology of the Islamic Empire. So they did many cruelties on the Muslim scholars. As in the time of Al-Mamun, that is after the 833, after the death of Al-Mamun, his son Al-Mu'tasim, in his period, this movement reached its political height, and it remained for 15 years at least in the political height. In that era, religious scholars of Ahl-Sunnah and Ahl-Tashih both were punished, imprisoned, or even killed unless they conformed to the Mu'tazila doctrine. The policy lasted for 15 years from 833 to 848 CE, and after that, when the Al-Mutawakkil became the next Caliph in 847, after 2 years in 849, he announced it, and he ended the political support of this movement. So this was a very great, very bad thing for the Muslim scholars. Anyway, after the death of Al-Mutawakkil in 861, there was a fight between the Umayyad dynasty for the succession, and this weakened their political power after 861. So there are 29 caliphs after the Mutawakkil, but they don't have the much political power. They were the very weak caliph, except one or two. They have some power, but they were most of them were the weak. So after the Mutawakkil, from 861 until 1258, the period is known as the declining period of the Abbasid Caliphate. Even they have the religious power, they have some power, but they don't have the political power.